Brady, you are looking live at Sold Out Live Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff-bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Philadelphia Eagles. And why are the Philadelphia Eagles 0-16? Because they suck. They got smoked in the first round of the playoffs, 32-9 by the Buccaneers, because they suck. The Philadelphia Eagles suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away, throw in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box. Give me 5 or 10 minutes or so. As soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free. Fire away. But plus also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free and fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the very top link takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Hold on. Up. Move the chair for my buddy Randy. Yep. All right, Randy. Randy wants to get in here live. Okay, we can continue. Randy's here. It's too freaking much. As I said, I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video on, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And then finally, also, just a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. The one underneath it, I'm an old-time fart. It's a Twitter link. It's been Twitter. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. It'll be Twitter 3 trillion years from now because I'm an old-time fart. I hate change, right? It's Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on you, bro. I ain't calling it that. It's Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. I try to put Giants-related stuff in my Twitter account every day, right? So I say, if you follow me, I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. And then also, the link just above it takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. I think we're up to 7,700 members in the group. It's doing simply marvelous. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing and if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in here, but members post stuff in here as well. So between me and the members, there's a ton. There's a boatload. There's a whole lot, you might say, of New York Giants information going in this group every day. Please join it. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a group on Facebook. Join it, please. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All that stuff said and done and away with. Well, back from it was like a family reunion. My wife's side. She got a big family. I got a small family. She got a big family. So we went down to Tennessee, Pigeon Forge. We were on top of this mountain. It was beautiful view and all that stuff and everything. We got down there. It was like the day we got down, it was like 5 because you're up high. But it was weird because I'm in South Jersey and we drove south. And by the time we got south in Tennessee, it was even colder there than it was in South Jersey. It was like 5 or 10 degrees when we got there. Once again, it was on top of a mountain. So that's a beautiful views, but it was chilly because once again, we were on top of a mountain. But when we left there, the day we left, it was almost like 70 degrees. It was freaking absolutely crazy. But I had a great time. There was like 30 of us there all together with the people and their families and all that, and their kids and everything like that. I had a great time. We're going to try to do this maybe a yearly thing, but it was really, really great. I had a great time. But now we're back I don't have nothing planned. Let's knock on wood for about at least another 5-6 months or so. So hopefully we'll be rocking and rolling for the next 5 or 6 months, full steam ahead and all that stuff. So I miss the Giants with their special teams coach. And that just kind of goes to show you. I mean, every team's like, obviously different who has coaching changes. I mean, some of them, it's like when the head coach is gone, if they have the coordinators, offensive, defensives, offensive line coach, if they're still under contract for the team, but they don't have a head coach, if the coordinators or whatever, or offensive line coaches or special team coach or whatever, if they're good, and if they're still under contract, even if they don't have the team doesn't have a coach, well, it's up to the the team. They can, if somebody wants to come in and interview one of your coaches or whatever, it's up to the team. Some teams say yes, yeah, go ahead. We have a new coach coming in. He may not want you, but we don't want to hold you back or anything like that, right? So yeah, go ahead and interview. Other teams just say nope. You're doing a really good job for us. The new coach that's coming in, I mean, like McGahee, right? I mean, he was here for quite a few different coaches. So it was like, even when Dable came in, right? I mean, McGahee was new. He has no tie with Dable or nothing like that. So, I mean, if somebody wanted to come in and grab McGahee or, Giants could maybe talk to somebody or whatever, but, they wind up holding on to him. But, I mean, it just goes to show you the guy from, where is it at here? And the guy is a real good coach, so I'm sure he'll wind up catching on with somebody. But the Panthers will not retain Chris Tabor, allowing him to interview elsewhere. But the thing that stinks was the Panthers recently blocked the Giants' request to interview Chris Tabor for their special teams job. Now, of course, after the Panthers hired Dave Canals, I believe it is, for the head coaching job, they freed Tabor. Now it's like, so they blocked him. They wouldn't allow, him to go talk to the Giants. But then after they hired a new coach, and they said, okay, well, you're out of here then. So the Panthers informed their interim head coach, special teams coordinator, that he will not be retained despite the 2 years he has left on his contract. Carolina interviewed Tabor for the full-time head coaching job. He took over the interim job in week 12 after the Panthers fired head coach Frank Reich, and Carolina went 1-5 on Tabor's watch. So he didn't do much better than what he did with doing Frank Reich. But Tabor has 27 years of coaching experience, including 16 in the NFL. It is too late for the Giants' special teams job, as they just hired Michael Gabriel on Thursday. The Panthers are also moving on from their offensive line coach, James Campen. But, I mean, it just goes to show you, I mean, some teams, don't want to hold their coaches back. It's like, yeah, we're looking for, we're looking for a head coach. But if somebody comes in and they want to talk to you, we don't want to hold you back. So if you think, even if it's a lateral move, right? If you want to go, if the Titans want to talk to you, you go there. Don't want to hold you back. So if you get hired, good for you. Move on with your life and all that, because we're not exactly sure what's going to happen. It is what it is. It's kind of like a crapshoot. Some teams say yes, some say no. So the Giants, they didn't get the guy from the Panthers. However, the guy, Gabriel from the Jets. Now, he was not like so much the main guy, but I mean, he was on the coaching staff, all right? It was quite successful for the 3 seasons he was there. He where are we at here? Now, the Jets, 2021, this is all PFF, okay? Now, they take all the special teams, into consideration. So, 2021, once again, according to PFF, the Jets were 4-13. 4-13. 2021. Hold on here. 2021, 2022. And 4-13, 17, 17. No. I don't know how the heck the Jets special teams. Hold on here. How were they? Hold on here. 2021. New York Jets. This doesn't make much sense to me here. Hold on here. Jets were 4-13 in 2021. Okay. I didn't realize they were that bad in 2021. Wow. Holy cow. All right, but anyway, the Jets were 4-13. Pretty pathetic. But their special teams, according to PFF, they take everything in, punt coverage, punt return, kickoffs, kick coverage, punting, field goal, all that stuff. Right? It's all takes into account. The Jets were number 2 in the NFL, according to PFF. Their PFF grade was a 91.1. The Saints were number 1, 91.5. So the Jets, even though they were 4-13, their special teams was a 91.1. Fantastic. They dropped off a little bit in 2022. They didn't totally plummet, but 2022, they were 14th. They were 85.1. The Lions were number 1 at a 90.7. So they were like 5 points behind, according to PFF, the number 1 team. So, I mean, they were 14th. But, I mean, so overall, they're 85.1. Very, very good. Okay. Let's say here. The Giants were 25th. The Giants graded out at 71.3 in 2022. The Jets were 85.1. Okay, so in 2020, let's say 2021. I said the Jets, even as horrible as they were, 2021, the Jets were 91.1. The Giants, once again, at the bottom, number 30. 65. A freaking 65. 2023. This past season, the Jets special teams grade, according to PFF, the Jets were number 6, 89. They were 89, and the top one was the Chargers, right? That's who the Giants wanted to get, but they blocked them from interviewing the guy from the Chargers, the special teams coach. But the Chargers were at 90.8. The Jets were number 6. They were 89. So the Jets were like 1 point behind the number 1. The Giants, special teams, number 24, 69. Right, so we got a guy who's on the team that their special teams was an 89. And once again, the Jets this past season were 7-10. Okay, they had a losing record, but their special teams once again were very, very good. All right, so I really think once again, I think the offensive line coach, Priscillo, that we got, I think we knocked that out of the park. Gabriel, Michael Gabriel. I think, I think we did pretty good here too, as well. Now, let's see here. Gabriel, who spent the previous 3 seasons as an assistant on the Jets staff, has been hired as the Giants' new special teams coordinator. Gabriel, who will turn only 36 years old on February 9th. He is just a baby. Actually, right now, he's 35, right? He was a special teams coordinator on the collegiate level for 5 seasons before joining the Jets. He replaces Thomas McGahee, who was dismissed on January 8th after 6 seasons as the Giants coordinator. With the Jets, Gabriel coached under coordinator Brant Boyer and fellow assistant Leon Washington as the team fielded one of the NFL's best special teams units. So he was not the main guy, but he was the assistant. So he's seen how things were run, right? And the past 3 seasons, he's been associated with a special teams units that were very, very good for a very bad, usually a very bad team. Okay. 2023, the Jets' kickoff coverage led the league by allowing an average of just 15.3 yards a return. Fantastic. Their opponent's 40.4-yard net punting average ranked 7th in the NFL. Kicker Greg Zuerlein made 35 of 38 field goal attempts, including 5 of 6 from 50-plus yards, a .921 percentage, and scored 120 points. Rookie Xavier Gipson was second in the league with a 23.2-yard kickoff return average and tied for 12th with a 9.7-yard punt return average. So, I mean, hopefully we get Gunnar Olszewski back here again, right? And, maybe we can, Gunnar will work some magic for us. He did a very good job stabilizing out the punt returns for the Giants. You notice once we got him back there, everything just kind of calmed down a little bit. It wasn't like, oh my God, oh my God. Is Sterling Shepard is he going to muff this punt or is he going to muff the next punt? Oh, well, we got Eric Ray back here. Which one of the 5 punts he's going to try to field is he going to muff? Which one? Or maybe he'll muff 2 of them. I mean, it was always a catastrophe back there waiting to happen. Right? He had including a game-winning 65-yard touchdown in the season opener versus Buffalo. Ashton Davis was among the league leaders with 12 special teams tackles, 9 solo, and forced and recovered a fumble. Now, this is going to be huge for him trying to develop some guys because Cam Brown's probably not going to be back, and Carter Coughlin's probably not going to be back. 2 of our mainstays on special teams. So we're going to need to replace those 2 guys because it's just like, we'll get somebody run down there and make some tackles. No, it's not that easy, right? So hopefully, he can find a couple guys, who can take the place of those guys, right? So the previous season, special teams captain Justin Hardy was selected to his first Pro Bowl after posting a career-high 14 tackles. Now this is pretty sad. I mean, he became just the 6th Jets special teamer to be selected to the Pro Bowl since 1970. So that's like 54 seasons. He's just the 6th Jets special teamer to be selected to the Pro Bowl in 54 years. And he was the only core special teamer, right? 2 of the 6 were chosen during Gabriel's tenure. So 2 of the 6. So the Jets have not had special teams, standouts, shall we say, since the merger in 1970. Let's see here. In 2021, the Jets were the only team in the league to finish in the top 5 in both kickoff and punt return average that season. Wide receiver return specialist Braxton Berrios was selected as an All-Pro after he led the NFL kick return average and finished 2nd in punt return average. So I think we did good here. Before joining the Jets, Gabriel served as a special teams coordinator at Washington State, Hawaii, and Tarleton State, wherever that's at, I'm not sure. Following the first season at Tarleton State, he spent training camp with the Detroit Lions as part of the Bill Walsh Diversity Coaching Fellowship. Gabriel began his coaching career at his alma mater, UCLA, first as an undergrad assistant, then a quality control coach, and finally as a graduate assistant. Following his time with the Bruins, he coached at Syracuse for 1 season and Colorado Mesa for 1 season, serving as the team's co-special teams coordinator in addition to coaching the defensive line and outside linebackers. Gabriel played defensive end for 2 seasons at UCLA, where he earned his bachelor's degree in history and master's degree in social science and comparative education. So, he said, he's been, some extensive stuff at the, he hasn't obviously been involved in league since like the 90s or nothing like that. He's not like the Godfather Patterson who's been around, seems like forever, but he's been associated, especially the past 3 seasons with the Jets, who have been very, very successful. So it's a couple of those teams with the Jets. There's not much good associated with the Jets for the past 3 seasons. I mean, they've had, obviously, the defense this past season is very, very good. Their coverage is very, very good, but they ain't got a lot going for them, right? Especially after, what was that, the 4th play of the season? 4 plays into the season, Aaron Rodgers' season was over. Freaking unbelievable. But the Jets special teams has done very, very good. Now, just because, he was their assistant, okay, he's been there. He's associated with it. He knows how to run it. He knows how it's, how hopefully to get the best out of his players. So I really think, I think we did good here. I think the offensive line, we did good. I think the special teams, we did good. The trainer, the new trainer we brought in, and all. I think we're really starting to fill things out here. Which brings me to the defensive coordinator. Well, that's starting to heat up a little bit. Haven't hired that guy yet, but that's starting to heat up. I'm not thrilled 100% over the moon, really totally, with the defensive coordinators, but Denard Wilson to conduct a second interview with him. Now the Giants also, let's see here, brought in, let's see here, and also interviewed one of the Chiefs coaches. Just when it looks like the Giants were expanding their defensive coordinator search, one candidate jumped to the front of the line. Okay. Head coach Brian Daboll conducted a second interview Saturday with Ravens defensive backs coach Denard Wilson. Now, he was pretty much the only one, except for maybe Jerome Henderson, right? Somebody in-house who's done a very good job with the Giants defensive backs and all. I would have been very happy if they maybe just elevated him, but we'll see. I mean, Denard Wilson, what they've done with the Ravens, their secondary is done very well this season, and you might even add that he has a little bit of I think there's a little bit of overlap with Wink, right? So just because Wink's gone doesn't mean, right? Means we can't maybe use, we totally be taking his system and throwing it out the window. We may, if we were to bring in Wilson, right? Doesn't mean, he doesn't have his own way of doing things, but, he's been there with Wink. The Post confirmed after the Chiefs linebacker coach, Brendan Daly, emerged as the 7th candidate under the consideration. So we have like 7 guys coming in. And as I said, I'm really not over. It's not like that. Certainly doesn't mean any one of these guys won't come in and do a decent job. It's just I'm really not totally over the moon over some of these guys. So, but the one Wilson probably might be my favorite out of all of them. ESPN first reported both interviews, which were held virtually because the Ravens and the Chiefs will meet Sunday in the AFC Championship game. The Giants could have plenty of competition for Wilson now, who also is on the short list for the Rams and the Titans vacancies. Wilson spent 4 seasons with the Jets as a defensive back coach and later as a pass game coordinator before moving to the Eagles for 2 seasons in 2020. So he doesn't have any. So, okay, he did not. I thought he overlapped with Wink a little bit, but he did not. He spent 2 seasons with the Eagles in 2021 and 2022. And on to Daboll and Daly overlap for 3 seasons. So Daboll and Daly from the Chiefs overlapped for 3 seasons, 2014 to 2016, on the Patriots coaching staff, when Daboll was coaching the tight ends and Daly worked his way from a general defensive assistant to a defensive line coach. Neither Wilson nor Daly has prior play calling experience. The same can be said for the other 3 candidates. Bobby Babich, the Bills linebacker coach, Dolphins linebacker coach, Anthony Campanile, and the top in-house defensive back coach, Jerome Henderson. Former Titans defensive coordinator Shane Bowen and former Chargers defensive coordinator Derek Ansley, who took over play calling when head coach Brandon Staley was fired in mid-December, are the exceptions. So they both call plays. Daly joined the Chiefs as a defensive line coach and run game coordinator in 2019, but moved to focusing on linebackers, away from the only position he had known since coming to the NFL in 2006 before the 2022 season. It was a self-initiated diversification step toward becoming a coordinator. But let's see. So we got third team request to interview Denard Wilson. The Giants conduct a second interview. Right. According to reports, Baltimore Ravens defensive back coach Denard Wilson is gaining more attention in the NFL hiring cycle. Wilson will reportedly interview with the Los Angeles Rams for their vacant defensive coordinator position. This would be his third team he'll interview for. Also, Wilson is getting a second interview with the Giants. Wilson was arguably the top candidate for the Philadelphia Eagles last season before they went with the now released Sean Desai. I think they might have screwed that one up. Yeah. Then they botched it by bringing in Matt Patricia. Yeah, they really screwed that one up. I mean, they had let's not forget. I mean, they had a very good, their secondary was very good. But I mean, Bradberry had a very good season, but Slay was there as well, too. They had two very good. Now, Bradberry, could be a sufficient number one cornerback, but I think, they had Slay, right, is definitely, although Slay was the only one to give up a touchdown reception to Kenny Golladay, who is a Giant, right? But, I mean, between Slay and Bradberry, they had two very good defensive backs. But, I mean, the Eagles were certainly a better defensive unit in 2022 than they were in 2023. They were like trash. And you know what? I loved every second of it. I couldn't be happier. It's hard to imagine Wilson returning to another season with the Ravens. He's more than earned the next step in the NFL realm by elevating players at each stop in his career. The latest being safety Kyle Hamilton. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Now, the thing was with Hamilton was like, it's kind of like, he's tall. Now, he was all over the frickin' field when he was at Notre Dame. I mean, you see him, he was making plays on this sideline. He's making plays on that sideline. He's making plays back here. He's all over the place. Now, could that translate into the NFL? Because sometimes, it's like, he was kind of like the Isaiah Simmons. It's like, he's got some special talents and this and that. Can you find a spot for Isaiah Simmons to get the best out? Well, it's the same thing with Hamilton, And it's like, can this guy work? Can he be productive or not productive, but how special can he be? Where do you want to draft this guy? Is this guy a top 15 pick? Pick him in the later round, the later part of the first round, Can he be that good? Well, with the Ravens, yes, he was that good. The latest being safety Kyle Hamilton, who in year 2 became a first-team All-Pro and is arguably the best safety in the league at this point. Holy crap, right? But the hiring cycle is tough for coaches when their team continues to win in the postseason, as other NFL teams are desperate to get the ball rolling and start building their staffs and rosters immediately. The Ravens have been a bit fortunate to see most NFL head coaching gigs be filled, keeping both their coordinators with the team for now, which is true. You like to, which is going to bring me to my next point, right? As far as for some of these key dates coming up, because especially with the Shrine Bowl, the Senior Bowl, all the Rice Krispie Bowl, all this stuff coming up, right? You want, especially if you're going to get for your defensive coordinator, right? You might want him down there. you know, looking at some of these prospects in person, right, instead of the underwear bowl, right, at the combine, right, or if they have guys have their own pro days or whatever like that. You rather have them down there, watching these guys go up against the best of the best, and the college players, instead of watching at the combine. But I mean, so the problem is that when they keep winning, and there's a good chance the Ravens tomorrow, soon to be almost today, about an hour, it'll be Sunday, but so he won't be there because his team is playing the Chiefs, be in Baltimore, and there's a good chance they'll wind up. There's a good chance they can win, right? So they'll go on to the Super Bowl, right? So then there's another week or so that whoever's looking maybe to hire this guy can't hire him because his team is still in the playoffs. So I mean, a lot of teams want to hurry up and get the ball rolling and want to hire some guys. Right, so they want to try to fill the vacancy. So obviously the Giants are one of those. So it'll be interesting to see. As I said, I'm not really. Doesn't mean because I don't follow it. I don't. All these guys, all the coaches and all that. I mean, I don't follow them as closely as other people do. I don't know what trees these guys came from. Well, this guy's from the Bill Belichick tree. He's from this Bill Walsh tree. He's from the this, that, but once again, that certainly doesn't mean all these guys will do a horrible job. But I was saying that the guy from the Ravens, I think if any of them seems like I'm kind of a little excited about him. But if not him, why not give Jerome Henderson a shot? Right? He's familiar with the guys in the defense, right? I'm sure he has an idea, so he knows what these guys can do, right? Especially the guys in the secondary. He knows how they are. Nobody knows him better than Jerome Henderson, right? So we'll have to wait and see. But so far, I mean, with the offensive line coach, very, very excited, and a new special teams coordinator, very, very excited. So I think we're doing good. I said we got to get the defensive coordinator in here, and then he'll get his own. His own outside linebacker coaches in here, who he thinks is going to do a good job. But I think the Giants are doing a very good job so far. They really think they're knocking it out of the park. So that's good to see. All right. So then we got, all right. Now there's some key dates here for 2024. I mean, it's just like, it never ends. Never ends. I mean, we're still, the Giants season has been over with, for obviously a couple of weeks now, right? But, we still have 3 games left to go. Right. So it seems like the Giants, like the season's been over with for weeks, and we still got football. Still got 2 games. Should be 2 very good games tomorrow or almost today, right? And then we got the Super Bowl. So, especially, that Super Bowl could be a good one. Especially if we get the Ravens and the 49ers in there. That could be, or Ravens, Lions, 49ers, Chiefs. Could be a good Super Bowl. Could be a really, really good Super Bowl. Long as I said, I got one rule. Giants number 1, baby, right? If the Giants ain't getting to the Super Bowl, anybody but the Eagles or the Cowboys. That's all I ask. So the Giants ain't going to be in there. But my second wish came true. The Eagles and the Cowboys ain't going to be there. So whoever else get there, good, have fun. I like to see a good game. I hate when you're watching the Super Bowl, it's halftime, it's 31-3. It's like most of the time the game's over with, unless it's the Falcons and the Patriots, and it's 28-3, and Patriots come back and win. Right? I would have been excited. You like to see that comeback, that exciting comeback, but it was Tom Brady, so I was not excited at all about seeing that. Not at all. But we got some key dates coming up here. All right, so we got January. You still got the football still going on. We got the playoffs. Playoffs. And now heading into February 4th, Pro Bowl games, right? Sexy Dexy is the only player voted to take part in the festivities. February 11th, the Super Bowl. February 20th, clubs may designate franchise or transition players. Giants running back Saquon Barkley is a strong candidate to get the franchise tag designation. And we have February 27th to the 4th, NFL Scouting Combine, Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis, right? As always, every year. So in a month from now, 1 month from now, we're going to have the Combine going on. Crazy as that is. Then we have March 5th, prior to 4 o'clock p.m., New York time, deadline for clubs to designate franchise or transition players. If Barkley is to get the franchise tag, expect the Giants to do so by this deadline. Okay. March 11th to the 13th, during this period, beginning at 12 o'clock noon, New York time on March 11th and ending at 3:59 p.m., New York time on March 13th, clubs are permitted to contact and enter into contract negotiations with certified agents of players who will become unrestricted free agents upon the expiration of their 2023 player contracts at 4 o'clock p.m. New York time on March 13th. During the above 2-day negotiating period, a prospective unrestricted free agent who is not represented by an NFLPA certified contract advisor is permitted to communicate directly with a new club's front office officials. The club is responsible for confirming the player's status as an unrepresented player. Let's see here. No prospective unrestricted free agent is permitted to execute a contract with a new club until 4 o'clock p.m. on the 13th. New York time, March 13th, 2024. The league year and free agency signing period begin at 4 o'clock p.m. That's the beginning of the new year league. March 13th, 4 o'clock p.m. New York time. The trading period for 2024 begins at 4 o'clock p.m. New York time after the expiration of all 2023 contracts. March 24th to the 27th, the annual league meeting in Orlando, Florida. So you got stuff going on in February. You got stuff going on in March. April, once again, it just keeps on. It's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year, Clark, right? April 1st, clubs that hired a new head coach after that end of the 2023 regular season may begin off-season workout programs. So that's 8 teams that hired new coaches. Clubs who are returning head coaches may begin off-season workout programs on April 15th. April 17th, deadlines for clubs to time, test, visit with interview, or conduct a physical examination with draft-eligible players at its club's facility starts April 17th. April 18th, deadline for restricted free agents to sign offer sheets. April 24th, deadline for prior club to exercise right of first refusal to restricted free agents who signed offer sheets. Then we have the draft, April 25th to the 27th at Detroit, Michigan. So that's where it's at, Detroit. The Giants currently hold pick number 6. So, and then we got May 2nd, deadline for clubs to exercise the 5th-year option for players selected in the first round of the 2021 draft. The Giants do not have to worry about this decision because of the bum Kadarius Toney is no longer on the team. Right. May 3rd through the 6th or May 10th to the 13th, clubs may elect to hold their 1 3-day post-draft rookie minicamp from Friday through Sunday or Saturday through Monday on one of the 2 weekends following the draft. The Giants usually hold their rookie minicamp the weekend after the draft. May 13th, rookie football development program begins, and May 20th to 22nd, spring league meeting coach accelerator in Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah, so I mean, it's just, then there's that little bit of a layoff where you got the layoff where the guy's got about a month or so off, right? And then, of course, then the training camp starts in July. So, I mean, it's almost always something going on. Always, right? Yeah, so I said we got a couple more weeks of football left. I said, then you got the the combine at the end of May, right? And then in the 2 weeks after that, that's when you got free agency starts, right? And then about 5 weeks or so, 6 weeks after that, you got the draft going on. So there's always something going on. Every month, it's like each month you got a little Christmas going on, little Christmas, right? So, it never ends. It's really good. Love it, absolutely love it. Then we got, oh man, this could be one of those things that kind of goes down in history. Dave Gettleman not picking up the phone. Right. 2018, we got the second overall pick. Now, kind of seemed like he was kind of trying to do was, let's get that one last, all chips in the middle of the table. Let's get Eli one more chance, right? We just drafted Evan Ingram, 2017. We got Sterling Shepard out there. We got a quarterback, Eli Manning. He's coming to the end of his career, but he can still sling it, right? We got Odell Beckham Jr. out there, right? Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard, we had Golden Tate for a year or two, whatever it was. But but what he was trying to do, I think, was he was really trying to get, I think, trying to help Eli out. And drafting him a weapon. Let's get him another weapon. And, by drafting Saquon. Now, you can go two ways on Saquon. I ain't going to argue with either one. You can say it was not a horrible pick, but it was the wrong pick. You also, I sometimes I leaning toward, maybe it certainly was not the right pick, but he's also the face of the franchise too. People come into the stands, into the stadium, all that they want to see Saquon. Now whether he ever becomes another All-Pro or he ain't going to be a Hall of Famer or anything like that. Whether we win a Super Bowl with him or not, or this or whatever. He's the face of the franchise. You think Saquon Barkley? You're not thinking, oh yeah, he's a San Diego Charger or a Los Angeles Charger, or he's a Tennessee. No, New York Giants. Class act human being, he's great guy, great locker room guy, great captain, all of this and everything like that. He's a Giant. He's somebody that puts people want to come and see Saquon Barkley play. So if you disagree with that, okay, it's hard to argue, right? But I think that's what Gettleman wanted to do. Right, give one more little chips in the middle of the table. Let's see what we can get Eli. If we can get Eli a little toy to play with, maybe get him a good. First season he had over 90 receptions, right? Had over 2,000 all-purpose yards, right? He had a very good rookie season. Obviously after that, with bad coaching, with injuries, bad quarterback play, bad offensive line play, blah, 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 blah. It hasn't worked out. But if you look at that one draft right there, the 2018, I'll get a little story I'm going to read over here, which sounds like Gettleman, right? But in that draft, the Jets moved up from number 6. They traded with the Colts. They went from 6 to 3. They swapped with the Colts. They moved up, 5. They moved up like 3 spots, right? Or 4 spots, however you want to go. They went from 6 to 3. They traded away, so the Colts went back, from 3 to 6. They went back to 4 to 5. They went back 3 spots, I guess, right? So they swapped their number 1 picks, but the Jets also gave the Colts 3 second-round picks. They gave them 2 in the 2018 draft and 1 in the 2019 draft. The Colts moved back from 3 to 6 and picked up 3 second-round picks, which would be basically should be basically 3 starters. If not 3 starters, there should be darn near 2 starters and 1 big-time contributor, or 1 starter and 2 big-time contributor, whatever you want to look at it. 3 just to move back a couple spots. And they took Sam Darnold, who's the wrong answer, right? Well, the Broncos were picking 5th, and they wanted to do the same thing with the Giants, apparently, in the story I'm going to read here. But they were going to go up to the 2nd spot. So if the Giants would have flip-flopped with the Giants would have moved back to number 5, okay, and they could have took, let's see, I was kind of hoping that they would have wound up taking who did wind up Colts, which Quentin Nelson. I was kind of hoping they would took him because Quentin Nelson went number 6. But the Broncos took Bradley Chubb at number 5. I wouldn't have. The Browns took Denzel Ward. Right? But I mean, the Giants could have gone back to number 5, and they could have had Quentin Nelson, Josh Allen, right? They could have took their quarterback, Josh Allen, right? Roquan Smith, Minka Fitzpatrick, Vita Vea, Deron Payne, right? Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of guys that they could have wanted taken, right? But they just go back 5. But I mean, what they could have gotten in return, even if they would have gotten just 3 second-round picks, 3 additional second-round picks. I mean, could you imagine that if they would have had between the 2018 draft and 2019 draft, if they would have had like 5 second-round picks? I mean, could you imagine between 2018 and 2019, 5 and 2, they would have between first and second-round picks, they would have had 7 picks, quite possibly, in the first 2 rounds of 2 drafts. 7. That's like a third, just between 11 on offense, 11 on defense. I'm not a rocket scientist, but that's 22 players. You got 7 guys in two. That's a third of a team. A third. Didn't want to pick the phone up. Did not want to pick the phone up. Yeah. So we got here. This is from Giants Wire. Dave Gettleman ignored the Broncos' phone call during the 2018 NFL draft. Just straight up ignored it. When the Giants selected running back Saquon Barkley at number 2 overall in the 2018 NFL draft, there was a widely controversial decision. There was a segment of the Giants fan base that was in love with the pick, but a separate segment who felt they overreached. That opinion was shared by most analysts and experts who argued that the running back position, not necessarily Barkley himself, was overvalued. That debate rages to this day, and no amount of success Barkley can attain will change that. It's an issue that persists with his own contract negotiations. Now, with Barkley slated to become an unrestricted free agent in March, the discussion has resurfaced. Did the Giants make the right choice with that pick? Should Barkley get a big-time money contract? Well, who knows? Ultimately, the entire situation could have been avoided. Connor Hughes of SNY reports that the Denver Broncos called the Giants on draft night in 2018 and had a major offer prepared for the number 2 spot. Because the Broncos wanted to move up, they needed a quarterback. You got the number 2 pick. You don't need or they weren't taking a quarterback, right? What do? The Giants are in kind of a rebuilding kind of mode or whatever like that. What do? You want to trade back? If you're not taking, a quarterback, right? You trade back, you get a bunch of picks for it, right? And you build your team that way, right? After learning that Baker Mayfield would go number 1 overall, John Elway was desperate to trade up for the quarterback Sam Darnold. He was ready to offer the Giants a king's ransom for Sam Darnold. Well, that would have been the wrong move, and it worked out best for the Broncos that they didn't. But the general manager Dave Gettleman ignored the call. I remember talking to Mike McCagnon about this because you remember the Jets were drafting 3rd, Hughes said during a Friday appearance on WFAN. I'm like, dude, weren't you nervous that like the Browns and Giants were going to go quarterback, and suddenly you're landing the number 3 quarterback, which would have been Josh Rosen? Because after drafting Christian Hackenberg, they weren't going to go with a project like Josh Allen again. Yeah, right. So we don't want Josh Allen. He's a project. And he goes, no, because we had our sources that said the Giants were so locked in on Barkley at number 2. Now, once again, the Giants, back then, I don't know who the people were. I mean, they did not do a very good job as far as, I don't know, people were doing some talking, who the Giants were maybe interested in or, whatever like that. I mean, so we had some guys with loose lips. And hopefully they got fired for it. I mean, the Giants did not do a very good job of keeping stuff quiet. Once again, I don't know who the guys were that were, but the Giants had some guys talking, especially when the drafts started rolling around. He goes, I wasn't worried until the morning of the draft happened. And when we got word that it wasn't Sam going 1, that Baker was going 1, they thought they were getting Baker at 3. They had Sam as their number 1 quarterback, but they thought they were getting Baker at 3. And he told me that the only time he got worried was that morning because he knew the only person that loved Sam more than him was John Elway with the Broncos. And he was petrified that John was going to call the Giants and offer the house for number 2 in order to get Sam Darnold. And they did, or at least they tried to. So they tried to call the Giants and offer the house for the number 2 pick to get Sam Darnold, because Sam Darnold went 3. Baker went 1. Saquon went 2. Sam Darnold went 3. He told me that John Elway and said to him, I was surprised you didn't do that. I really thought you were trying to jump us. And they did. But Dave Gettleman wouldn't answer the phone, he said. Dave was so locked in on number 2 that he wouldn't answer the phone. So when Dave said in his press conference they didn't need to even take calls, they ran it up to get Barkley, he was not lying. Yeah. And I remember people would actually talking to Gettleman, like afterwards or like that. He was like, yeah, did anybody call? And, he didn't name teams or nothing like that. He's like, yeah, we took some calls. People were offering like a bag of chips for this and that. And, it's like, he was like making fun of like, people call for the number 2 pick and throw a 5th rounder in there. How does that sound? You know what I mean? So Gettleman made it sound like nobody offered him anything, worthwhile. Well, meanwhile, quite possibly, right, if he would have picked the phone up, hello, Dave Gettleman. Ooh, the Broncos. How you doing? You got pick 5. What else you got for me, bro? So apparently, now whatever you want to believe, but according to this story here, somebody came on and was actually saying this, WFAN. John Elway was trying to call Dave Gettleman and offer him possibly a king's ransom, whatever that meant. But, Dave Gettleman was so locked in on having to get Saquon Barkley that whatever he didn't, he figured Saquon Barkley was the answer to all their problems. Little did he know, right, that he could have maybe jumped back to number 5. Still got Saquon Barkley, right? Because let's see here. Did I get rid of it? Nope. There we go. Now let's see. So if the Broncos went up, now you don't know who the Jets would have taken. But the Browns took Denzel Ward. So if the Broncos and the Giants flipped, Baker Mayfield went once. Sam Darnold would have gone 2. Denzel Ward might have gone 4 to the Browns. The Giants would have been 5. The Giants quite possibly could have got Saquon Barkley. Who knows? Maybe the Jets would have took Josh Allen. You don't know. You never know. Would the Jets have taken Saquon Barkley with the number 3 pick? Maybe not. So I'm saying, the Giants maybe could have dropped back to 5, picked up 2 or 3 additional picks, and still got Saquon Barkley. But he was so locked in that he wouldn't feel, apparently, just according to this story that was going on, he was so locked in that he didn't want to take anybody's phone call. Right? But when you're in a team, the reason why he was in there is because the team, it was 2017 went down the dumper. So here is 2018, right? Usually when you become when they bring a new coach in and a new GM and all of this stuff, usually it's because the team stunk the year before. So when that's the case, and you usually kind of stink the year before, kind of maybe you might need some players. So what's the best way to get some players, right? Maybe draft them, huh? And get them had a nice little he drafted okay. He didn't do bad of a job doing some drafting with the Carolina Panthers. So why not get some additional picks and help build the ball club, right? I mean, Shermer's a 2018. Shermer's a first-year coach. I mean, with the Giants. He coached with the Browns before, but his first year with the Giants. Gettleman's first-year GM with the Giants, right? So first year, I mean, you're not usually when you've got a new coach coming in and you're not taking over for a Super Bowl winning team. The Giants didn't win the last 13 Super Bowls in a row. I'm sick and tired of winning. John Mara's not like, I'm sick we won 13 Super Bowls in a row, with the same coach and the same GM. Let's get them out of here. Let's get some new fresh blood. No, usually because you get a new coach and a GM, it's because the team before that stunk. So when the team before that stinks, right, what do you need? Players, right? So what better way to, you got the number 2 pick. If you're not looking for a quarterback, right, trade back, get some extra picks. I mean, if the Giants were picking like, say, 27, somebody wanted to jump up from the second round into 27, then the Giants went back from 27 to 35th or whatever, they would pick up maybe a third rounder or something like that. So we go back to that, they'd pick up maybe a third and a fifth or something like that. Okay, but you got the number 2 pick. It's like, you can, basically not ask for and get anything you want, but you can get the number 2 pick. Especially when there's a quite possibility of a team wanting to jump up for a quarterback, the number 2 pick, you can get some nice stuff in return. As I said, let's not forget, I said the Jets went from number 6 to number 3, and they gave up their pick 6, like Daniel Jones, right? Pick 6. They gave up the first round, which was pick number 6, and they gave up 3 second-round picks. So that meant that the Colts, right, in 2018 and 2019 had 2 first-round picks, and they had 5 second-round picks. So in 2018 and 2019, the Colts, between first and second round, had 7 picks in the first and second round. And you can really rebuild a team. That's a third of a team. Gettleman could have almost done the same thing. Moved back from 2nd to 5th. Right? Still possibly could have had Saquon Barkley and could have gathered up another 2 or 3 picks. But he didn't want to do it. Oh, what a tangled web we web. Tangled web we weave or whatever. Just stupid. Especially when you're trying to, rebuild a team. You need draft picks. Draft picks is the best way to go. And Dave Gettleman screwed that up. And as I said, especially the fact that he possibly could move back to number 5 and could possibly still have gotten Saquon Barkley. Stupid. But it is what it is. All right, guys, it's been over 59 minutes. Whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time, listen to the replay this once again. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!